Looking sleepy. I'm thinking of taking this outside. It sure would be nice to sit outside. Let's see how this episode goes. Yahoo! 80s Funhouse is live. We'll see who joins. It's been a few days. There. That might be a better setting. Might be. Hello and welcome. It's Booby Tuesday. Booby Tuesday, it's when we talk about mammograms. People should go get mammograms so that early detection is very important. Lives can be saved just by getting regular checkups. A lot of conditions are asymptomatic, which means you don't feel any pain, you don't feel any discomfort. So you should go in and get your checkups just to see how well you're doing, because sometimes you can have something wrong and you don't know it until you get checked out. I guess a yearly exam, a yearly physical will help you stay ahead of the game. But yes, early detection is key. My mother had stage 2. Yes, you got to catch it before it becomes a problem. Yeah. I've heard even men can get cancer in the breast area. So I guess that they just, whatever this is up here, it's the breast area. So that helps. I guess no one is excluded from possible dangers. But yes. So how's she doing now? Sometimes with a little chemo, a little bit of mass removal can help. What else is there? There's sometimes they do a biopsy. They see what's going on there with that part of your body, and then they find if it's malignant or benign. So I think it's a good idea. I guess that's what we can talk about today is our health. I think mental health gets radiation and removal of nodes. Yeah, nodes they shouldn't be visible. I guess when people are having trouble with lymph nodes, that's when they become visible. Yes, chemo. If they can avoid chemo, that's good, because sometimes the treatment is harsh, as harsh as the cure. That is good. My brother went through it was Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it took a lot, but he's doing well too. It's nice to know that some people do survive cancer if they get treated correctly and early enough. It's always good news, when you hear that your loved one has recovered, because that's what the body naturally does most of the time, is it just recovers. So it's just the physicians need to help you along. They say they just sew you together and God does the rest. Good to hear. Yes, he's been free and clear. Sometimes it's a little scary because of the if you feel not well, sometimes you wonder if it's come back. Sometimes it doesn't come back. And my other brother, I'm gonna have to get an update on him, see if he's doing all right, because he suffers from headaches sometimes. Sometimes when they do certain checks on your body, it can exacerbate the your it could cause your cancer to come back if they use radiation. So lately he's been doing pretty well. So yeah, I guess that's why we call this Booby Tuesday. It's not just the boobies, it's the whole body, getting help. Because I hear that, people dodge the bullet, because they get that early treatment, they get early detection, and yeah, you don't have to go to get chemotherapy, because it's almost like they're killing you to save you. And I guess what can we talk about? It seems like all over the world there are riots happening. I feel like this is a sign for me to go get it checked up. It could be, It's weird how we get signs and signals. Yeah, get a blood test and see if your potassium's good. See if your what other things can they check? They could check your sodium, your cholesterol, and your high blood pressure. Sometimes they can regulate your blood pressure because we get hypertension and hypotension. I should have a doctor on as a guest. Yeah, that's what's good about getting checkups is because some things are asymptomatic. You don't even know you have. Like my brother, how he found out he had his cancer was he was training in the military and he had a neck fracture, and that's how they found that he had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I hate talking about it, but sometimes you got to talk about it. You got to make sure that, and it was luck. It was just pure blessing and luck that he happened to get a neck fracture, and then that's how they found he had cancer. Otherwise, you don't even know. That's not fair. Sometimes then everyone's scared of cancer. I don't think I would want to know if I had cancer because it's all a matter of how we handle things as multi-celled organisms and how things can. I don't think they really know what causes cancer. Sometimes they used to think it was cigarettes. They used to think it was. I know for sure that asbestos. Don't mess with asbestos. That was one thing that a lot of people had come down with lung cancer. Another thing, a big killer was colon cancer. So maybe I should do a colon special too. Go in and get your colon examined. Sometimes they have precancerous polyps, and if they can just catch it in time, they can just remove the polyps. It's amazing they do it in the process. During the process of checking out your colon, they can remove polyps. Polyp in Greek means little foot. So it's like you have little things that can be removed, that can catch it before it becomes a problem. And it's amazing how they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And man, we can sure use a couple of ounces of prevention, especially nowadays. They've prolonged human life now. The whole cast of Gilligan's Island, a lot of people like was the Addams Family, the woman who played Morticia. A lot of people are claimed by colon cancer. So yeah, we can. It's good to get checked out. It's not a laughing matter. I mean, sometimes again, that's that asymptomatic stuff that's scary. Sometimes you just got to pray for a clean bill of health, catch everything before it's eating healthy. Yeah, and keeping fit is the best prevention for many cancers. Yeah, because it seems like people have put health on the back burner. You know, they just want to go to, but our work schedules, sometimes our work schedules, I noticed my brother was talking about that. You only have a half an hour to eat lunch, and so you fill up on Wendy's and what else? Chick-fil-A. It's just not good. Plus, on top of being stressed at work, stress takes a toll on your body. Stress. I mean, I'll be glad when I guess the pendulum's going to swing the other way because there was the Great Depression and then the Roaring Twenties. No, I think the Roaring Twenties happened before the Great Depression. Yeah, and I like baking things now. I like when I get French fries, the frozen French fries. They taste a lot better. I've noticed when I put them in the oven, and because there's instructions for baking. I know, and what do they do to help stress? They add more stress. It seems like you you just want to get through a day, and I think there's an imbalance. I mean, there's not enough vacation time, and weekends. I used to forward to weekends. Now you don't even get weekends anymore, especially if you work at a grocery store. It's I was working at a grocery store and they don't believe in weekends. They just this one guy he was telling me his schedule. He lives kind of it's a long commute to work, and he's lucky if he gets a day off. And then vacations don't even seem like vacations anymore because then you get to catch up on the stuff you weren't able to do when you were working. Oh man, I think that's what it is. We're workaholics. At least in America, I hear about that. In America, they say no. In Australia, they say we live to work. In Australia, Aussies just work to live. It's like what a good concept. It's like you just work enough until it's because we have such high expectations for ourselves. I know. It's like, oh my God, just I miss those days when you can just do go out and harvest your crops and take care of your livestock, and then like that John Denver song, "Thank God I'm a Country Boy." You know, when the work's all done and the sun sets low, I pull out my fiddle and I rosin up my bowl. The neighbors might complain, so I keep it kind of low. That should be an anthem. You know, thank God I'm a country boy. I know it's a rat race, and whoever wins a rat race, rat races are for rats. The early mouse gets the cheese. No, they say what is it? The second mouse gets the cheese because you gotta negotiate the trap that you're set in. Yeah. John Denver. I've been listening to a lot to the sound. Country roads. Yeah, that's almost like what I want to hear when I die. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Songs have a lot of power, I've noticed. Just a good song that reminds you of your childhood, reminds you of family time. That's what we need more of is family time. Just a way to relieve stress And yeah, we used to sing that when we were going down dirt roads. My auntie and, when I was young going fishing, we would sing that song in the back of a truck. Those were the days. It's crazy how we seem to be more magnetic towards the things that aren't good for us. I noticed that even when you go to a massage parlor, when you go to get to relax, they're playing just very tranquil music, and it's just calming, and I think it helps you because we forget that we're energy. We're not all meat and bones. We're energy, and our mind affects our bodies, and yeah, and your outlook. Oh yeah, they talk about that. That seems to be the stigma that's attached to massage parlors. But sometimes after work, it's very good to how much an old fashioned cost. Yeah, an old fashioned relaxation. Yeah, sometimes just taking a walk in the forest, taking a walk. Yeah, some of that. Yep, and it makes you wonder. What does what's the pastime of the average adult? What do they do? Be careful with the words. Sometimes they'll. Let me see. View message. Yeah, do be careful because I guess YouTube is a family setting. I want to do that. I want to see if how we can have adults only. You know, because a lot of people do that. That way we can speak freely, crack jokes. Because I think we need more jokes. I think that's why they attack comedy so much. Because we're grown ups, and sometimes grown ups aren't allowed to be grown ups. But then again, it would be nice, like Adult Swim. I remember Adult Swim was a thing. Cartoon Network. They would have shows that are for adults. Sometimes like The Simpsons and Family Guy. It's supposed to be jokes that adults get, jokes that family gets. Even Disney's been guilty of slipping in jokes there for adults that only adults understand. But I think we got to protect the kids, though. I noticed that. Why? I mean, why are we so afraid of words now? Yeah, I know. Chobos. We got to. It seems like we got to watch the kids even closer and make sure that they're in good company because it seems like all the bad people come off as good as nice and calm and collected and trustworthy until you find out, oh my God, what's going on behind closed doors? I've noticed that. If not communist, they become socialist. And it used to be we would fight for democracy, we would fight for imperialism. Yes, that's what we need to, that's what all the military are sworn to protect and defend the Constitution. It's like with even the Constitution is starting to, they say it's whittling away. It's not as strong. Even in religion and faith, it seems like. Also, Nickelodeon. I hear so much about Nickelodeon. They're kids shows, but the people behind the kids shows, they're they're just, it's it needs to be monitored a little more. You know, because it's like adult supervision used to mean something. Adult supervision, and we miss that. I think we're not being as we can't. We need to protect our kids a lot more, and a lot of scripts need to be read. A lot of content. You know, what's the purpose of the content? Is it to make kids laugh? Yeah, as far as we let them. Yeah, just and you know what? It's like the lobster. You know, as if it's slowly but surely the water gets hotter and hotter. Um, Frogs and lobsters are kind of like that. Never give up. Yeah, never give up your guns either. I know. Small. I guess I'll get back to that. So liberty, yeah. Well, I know, and it's like I think what it is people have become too relaxed. They don't. They take a lot. We take a lot for granted. I've noticed that here in America, we take a lot for granted, and I think we have a boiling point. We have a threshold, and I don't think people have reached that threshold because that's where revolution comes from. Revolution is is when people have had enough, and it's starting to look like that, especially in the UK. Um, People just being pushed too far. You know, people. I think everybody has a threshold. Everybody has a point where they can't take any more abuse or crime. Yeah, sissies. You know what? They make us sissies in school. A good fight, you know, and how they handle situations that really need a good uh, a good whipping. You know what? 2 a.m. Okay, I'll have to start earlier then, so I can. It's weird how our time zones are so stretched out. Yes, good chatting, and thank you for your subbing. Yeah, and I'll try to start earlier. Right now it's 2:20. It's 12:03 here, so I'll have to do that more often. That'd be cool. Have to do like a morning show. It'll be our morning show. You know what? I can find out what time it is in the UK. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. You're on the southern hemisphere. They say that the drain goes down the counterclockwise. I used to watch that in Hawaii too. In Hawaii, when I would watch the drain, I know, and it's why is that? What's so appealing about the bad guys? The bad guys, think of all the people they hurt. Think of all the people they inconvenience. It seems like bad lives are short lived. I still like the. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, and I think quality is like quality time and how we spend our time. It's quality. You know, we need to seek quality instead of quantity. And what can we do to make each other's lives that much more happy? You know, because we need instead of stress, we need a stress relief. I think we need to fight for comedy more. Fight for comedy, or at least support comedy more. Yeah, every movie you watch, there's somebody getting shot, a gun in each hand, and it's. But that's what people flock. They flock to the movie theaters to watch a gun in each hand. Guns that never seem to run out of bullets. They can shoot all day long. They never need to clean their guns. They never need to go get more bullets. Never have to stop and reload. Explosions. Just watching the superhero movies, it seems like superheroes against superheroes. Yeah, guns don't kill people. People have to pick up guns and use them irresponsibly. Yeah, there was a T-shirt that said that guns don't kill people. People kill people, and it's and outlawing weapons that can actually defend the home. I like these stories about kids who are able to defend their houses because they have an AR-15, they have a pistol, or women can defend their homes. I've seen videos of that too. It's like, yeah, learn how to use a pistol, wear earplugs, put in your earplugs before you pick up your gun, so you don't blow your eardrums out trying to defend your house. Yeah, they're getting more and more brazen. Like here in Georgia, open carry, even concealed carry, is permitted. But you know what? Crime goes down. They don't want to talk about that. If people are afraid to commit crimes, everything is uh, everything is illegal except crime. That's what I used to say when I was in California. When I lived in California, everything was illegal except crime. Everybody was committing crimes, breaking into cars, home invasions. I guess that's something we need to prepare for, or at least keep an eye out. Because if people know they're being watched, they're going to behave themselves. Yeah, that's what the militia was that in the during the colonizing, the British colonies, when we went from British colonies to being an independent country. We had That's what we wanted. We didn't want a government. The government was supposed to be for the people, of the people, for the people, by the people, and so that the government couldn't control the people. The government used to be a democracy. People were able to vote on what they wanted and didn't want. But now it's like, okay, we know what's best for you. We will hog tie you and gag you just because you, like in the UK, they were talking about, you were mentioned, or it was mentioned about, just for saying the wrong things. Freedom of speech. That's what we need. We should be the jesters. The jesters used to be able to say things against things that would call the king into question, or call him, always question authority. Because I think we were supposed to be the government, of the people, for the people, by the people. Now it's like the government is not us anymore. The government, I don't know. It seems like all we can do is make the best of it. Make the best of it. It takes revolutions, like the French Revolution, the Bolshevik Revolution. The Yeah, where is the love of life? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Do we even pursue happiness anymore? Or do we think happiness is a foregone conclusion? I think that's what we need to start talking more about don't we can't rely on an unreliable government. It's hard even to raise kids now. It costs so much money just to have a baby and raise that baby, pay for health care, pay for what else do they have? Child care, child care that's dependable and not harmful. Sometimes they just shuffle kids around. That's a good way to get sick is in child care. A good way to get harmed is in child care. But they'll take your kids away if you don't pay for child care. And it's just living a nightmare, it seems. If you want to know the truth, My brother used to talk about that. My brother was a single dad. And it's worldwide. The problem is worldwide. Everyone's throwing money at immigrants, but now they're sending immigrants home. And where is home for the immigrants? Yes, I've noticed that in Poland, Ireland, the UK, it's like they're not able to stay in their country. They're having to go to other countries, and with it is the things it comes with. I know it's like, where do we draw the line? How do we how do we handle difficult situations? In Italy also, I was watching in Italy, not just Ireland, not just Poland, Italy, the UK, and Sweden. It seems like there's too much people. There are too many people, and there's not enough resources to just live a regular life, to get up in the morning and to govern yourself, make sure your neighbors are okay, make sure you're okay. It seems like their resource. I know. It just seems like the poor are so plenty. There's so many poor people, and they're all seeking refuge. That's what America used to be. You know, bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And then they would put them to work in coal mines and on the railroads. And that's how cities were built. They were Immigration used to mean you had to work. You had to show up with a marketable job skill. I hear it's like that in Canada too. If you want to be a part of, if you want to go into Canada, you have to have a marketable job skill. I know it's like how, because the Greeks, when we look at ancient Greece, um, that's how they would handle the handicap. But then it's hard. It's hard to be moral. It's hard to be moral. Yeah, survival of the fittest. That's what Darwin was saying. And I remember Suicides are on the rise. And why are we into suicide prevention? Some countries they uh, they have a plan in place for people who don't want to live anymore, and it's like resources are being shifted towards people, like life in prison. It's like, how much money does it cost to keep a guy alive in prison for the rest of his life? Yeah, they are afraid because you know what? We're being monitored. We we're doing lives, and we're doing videos, and people are watching the videos that we put out. And yeah, on average, $60,000 to keep a person alive. Why? For studies? Are we studying them? Are we learning? It reminds me of Day of the Dead. You ever watched Day of the Dead? It was a Romero movie. Um, they were trying to make the zombies civilized. And it's like, zombies are flesh eaters. Zombies are the walking dead. Why do you want to teach a zombie how to talk, how to salute, how to fire a pistol? And it's like, is a zombie going to push a plow? Is a zombie going to get your order when you pull into a drive-through. Yeah, and it's like, why is that? I mean, and also people who are in office, people who are abusing. There's no taxation with representation. People are spending lots of money on their suits and on their lavish lifestyles until people call them on it. They get away with it until people say, this is, look at the wasteful spending. You know, we're too humane without being humane enough. It's kind of like all these oxymorons and um, all these. What's another word that was I was trying to remember? Oxymorons and paradoxes. There's so many paradoxes. You know, it's like so many people get executed who were innocent. They're exonerated due to DNA evidence. Somebody who was fried in the electric chair. It's and um, the the judicial system doesn't work every time. Are you willing to kill somebody who was innocent? But then again, there are people who walk who are not innocent. I know, and it's about who benefits. And usually the people who benefit are the ones who are writing the rules, the ones who are writing history, who are entering data into the journals. Now we don't have journals anymore. It's all bits of memory, and it's crazy how much information. But still, they can't seem to fix problems. People only look out for themselves. I've noticed that throughout history. As long as their lawn is mowed, as long as there's table food on their table, they could care less about everyone else. They hide. Yeah, and cover-ups. A lot of movies that come out, they tell the story because it's like they're telling you without really telling you. The I think that's what it is. This is healthy for us to let off this steam. You know, we have steam that has built up. I know there's more attention on quantity because quantity gets you the votes. I think that's what they want is votes. What it all comes down to is votes. Yep. Are we safe? Are we safe anywhere now? And it's almost like we have to disconnect from what we're being exposed to. Because a lot of what we're being exposed to is just not healthy. People are not taking it anymore. But then every so often, there are new revolutions, there are new upheavals of everything as we know it. Everything as we know it has to make adjustments. But then again, it's us not taking it anymore. It's like we let things slide, we let things become softer and softer until we're faced with stabbings, until we're faced with um, all kinds of criminal activity to the point where we can't take it anymore. It's in our backyards now. There used to be the NIMBYs, not in my backyard. Now that things like this are happening in our backyards, we're finally getting a clue. We're finally not taking it anymore, and it's deal with these problems when they're small. Deal with these problems before they become a big problem. Before people are burning vehicles and smashing windows and looting. Yeah, I think we turn a blind eye sometimes because we don't We know that there's a monster in the basement, but we don't want to deal with the monster in the basement or the skeletons in the closet. We hope that everything is going well. It's kind of like the ostrich syndrome. The ostrich wants to bury his head in the sand. We know that it's a lot worse than we think it is, but we don't want to deal with things uh, that are hard to deal with. We don't want to talk about the things that we're ignoring sometimes. It's scary that we ignore so much until it becomes a big problem, until people are rioting in the streets, until people are looting. Because I think justice, I remember Rodney King riots, and there's so many, yeah, every once in a while we get peace, and then we get riots, and then we get peace again. Wasn't the Harlem riots? There was innocent people uh, get harmed because a problem was ignored. That's what Romero was saying about the zombie movies. It's all about ignoring the problem, and that's what we're dealing with. We're ignoring the problems instead of hello there, welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. We have fun trying to figure stuff out. Reminds me of Pablo Escobar. Remember Pablo Escobar? I think he was a Cuban drug lord, and all these people of great power seem to do well in this world. People say that the devil runs this world, but then again, there's the short-lived lifespan, the short-lived life of somebody who's willing to become the devil so that he can prosper in this world. What does it profit a man to gain the entire world but to lose his own soul? It reminds me of that Louis C.K. joke, of course, but maybe. Of course, but maybe. And it's maddening because sometimes there are just easy fixes. Direct all that money towards education and people who are working hard, people who need um, better health care instead of better prisons. Since when did building more prisons and better prisons, since when did that help anything? I think because there's a lot of money involved in it. Who was it, Jesse Ventura? He had, I'm sure he wasn't the only one to use that phrase, follow the money. I think what it is they don't want smart solutions. There's so many ways that we can better this world, but we don't want to because this is just a temporary place. Temporary place, temporary people. In the long run, what do we have to benefit, or how do we benefit in the long run? Because we don't get to enjoy what our children will enjoy. We don't get to enjoy what our children's children will enjoy. That's why there's so much misery. But then again, I think it's a lot of it has to do with what we're creating. Science is talking about how uh, we have the observer effect. We can choose to live the life we want to live, and forget about the rest because nobody wins. Nobody wins this game. We all wind up in boxes or ashes. So why do we try so hard? Why do we try so hard to win this game when we all wind up in the same condition, the same the same outcome? We all want to take care of our bodies. We all want to live in nice houses. and we try so hard, and it takes away the quality and value of life. I think the less you resist, the better off you are, the less you fight. But then if you don't fight enough, somebody will be taking something from you that you value. I think what it is a community. Stop turning a blind eye. If someone's car is vandalized, if you see something, say something. That's what I think it is as long as it doesn't happen to us. I keep remembering there was a show on the Rob Arnie and Don show. It was a radio show. They called it Good News Over Happy Music. No, Bad News Over Happy Music. They would play happy music, and then they would read horrible stories of horrible things that happened to people. And they would say, it's not bad news unless it happens to you. And I think that's our mentality. It's not bad news unless it happens to you. Somebody is attacked, somebody is robbed, somebody is lied to. It doesn't matter unless it happens to you. And I think we can prevent things from happening to other people. We can prevent things from happening to us if we just look out for other people. I think that's what it is a lot of people are turning their heads when it comes to crime. I think if a lot more people spoke up about injustice and did things about injustice, we would have less of it. But that makes sense. We don't like sense. We don't like to make sense. We don't like to fix problems. We like to talk about problems. We like to say, look at those guys. Look at what they're doing. A lot of people need to learn to vote with their wallets. I think that would help. Vote with your wallet. Boycotting. That's something we don't do anymore. If we disagree with something, stop putting our money into it. Like that Greek philosopher said, if the cucumber is bitter, don't eat it. And a lot of people are just eating bitter cucumbers instead of discontinuing a certain behavior or stopping a certain behavior from continuing. They allow the behavior to continue. They say evil men prosper when good men do nothing. I think I'm repeating this. You've heard this before. This is part of Eddie's Funhouse. Eddie's Funhouse is the funhouse of the mind. And we enter into this funhouse of mirrors that distort images, mirrors that don't give us a true image of what's going on. I've been doing this for almost an hour. I think it's time for some flute music. We can curb the madness. That's what we're here to do. I'm here to alleviate the madness. Someone who's clothed and in their right mind. We need more people who are clothed and in their right mind. You know, like the Bible says. That guy who had all the demons casted out of him, they found him clothed and in his right mind. Let's say we have some beautiful music. The storm, yes. Are we in the eye of the storm? I think that's what it is the pendulum always swings the other way. We've got the pendulum goes to peace, and then it goes to war, and then we get tired of war, and then we go back to peace again. Peace is when we're building new weapons. Peace is when we're reloading. That's what I've always noticed. Peace means we're taking time to reload and come up with better weapons. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. is it good for? You know what I think? We should divert all of our creative energy into something besides war. But you know what? It's all a bit of history repeating. Like that song goes, it's all just a bit of history repeating. New persons, new people learning old lessons, destroying everybody, or being able to destroy, and then if you can't destroy them, threaten them, keep them scared. Let them fear us so long. Let them hate us so long as they fear us. Wasn't that the Romans said that? Let them hate us so long as they fear us. Do you want love and respect, or do you want to terrorize? It seems like that's a good way of getting your point across. Speak softly, but carry a big stick. The best offense, the best defense is a good offense. That's how a lot of civilizations came to power. If you look throughout history, the one who had the ones, it wasn't always the intelligent people, it was the ones who had the best weapons that were able to write history. The ones with the best weapons and the most armies, the ones who can outlive their enemies. What contributions to humanity have there been so far? There's X-rays, there's MRIs, there's all this pharmakia that keeps us alive. Why do we put so much effort into prolonging life? We put so much effort into prolonging life. Now that there's so many people on the planet, there are now more people on the planet than there has ever been in the history of the world. And we want to prolong life because we're afraid to die. We're afraid to die, even though we believe that there's a heaven, even though we believe that there is an afterlife, that if everybody behaves themselves, they're going to go to heaven. Wouldn't that make you want to live a shorter life if you have heaven to look forward to? That's the questions that I get. If you're going to see God and Jesus and angels, wouldn't you want to hurry it up? Wouldn't you want to hurry up? Wouldn't you want to shorten life? Rather than, it's like, what do we have left to figure out down here on Earth? We haven't figured out how to live healthy. We haven't figured out how to make life better for other people. We don't think about other people. We're all a bunch of NIMBYs. Not in my backyard. As long as it doesn't happen on my street, who cares? Let's keep populating. That's the answer. Let's increase the problem. But then again, after the baby boom, population is on the decline. People don't want to have babies anymore. It's too expensive to have babies. So who's going to replace us? It's all going to implode. It's gotten too expensive to live. People are barely alive now. That should be the barely alive. We are barely alive. We're alive and we're scratching. We're trying to scratch together a living. should call this bad news over happy music. Just start ranting and raving about what's going wrong while I play a flute. Prices keep going up. Money is worth less. People are having more children. People are living much longer than they should. We can't really say what we want to say. I can fiddle while Rome burns. Isn't that what Nero did? He blamed it on the Christians. Cause destruction and then play a violin. Polish the brass as the Titanic is going down. Is there hope? Could this be the end of our dynamic duo? I think I've driven everyone away. Eddie's funhouse. Funhouse is an oxymoron. It's a paradox. Are you having fun in a funhouse? Are you actually having fun in a funhouse when you're looking at mirrors that distort images? When you're walking through the tumbling barrel? That's madness. We're all mad here. We're all mad here. That's what the Mad Hatter. We're all mad here. I think it's just levels of sanity. Some of us don't have, we're at the right level of sanity. We should call it functioning insanity. We're functionally insane. I think that's what it is. We are functionally insane. Welcome to the home of the functionally insane. We're all insane. We can just drive cars. We can show up to work, show up to jury duty. We can have someone make our coffee for us. They're the functionally insane. That's a true statement. We are functionally insane. We're crazy enough to keep doing what we're doing, thinking that something... Isn't that what Einstein said? Insanity, the definition of insanity is when you do the same thing and expect a different result. We're doing the same thing and expecting different results. We're throwing money at stupid ideas. It's like that, do as much as you can before the building collapses. Because we think we're civil. We think we are sane. We think that if we throw money at crime, instead of eliminating it altogether and keeping up with it, we feel better. Yeah. Functionally insane. That's what we are. We're functionally insane. We're doing the same thing and expecting a different result. 2 o'clock in Australia. Wow. We are functionally insane. We are insane, but to the point where we can still function. We can still work on cars. We can still build railroads. We could build supercomputers, quantum computers, nipples for men. We think if we let things happen for long enough, things will change. That's functioning insanity. Welcome to the home of the functionally insane. That's what we call this. Eddie's Funhouse is the home of the functionally insane. We're not so crazy that we're tossing rocks up in the air and hoping it doesn't hit us in the head. Or are we? I got to start this show earlier. I shouldn't keep up my Aussie friends at 2 a.m. I think it is random. It's random, the fact that a person is kind to someone. It's a random thing. It's a order out of chaos. We are we are dealing with chaos, but then to what degree? You know, like the Hermetic principles. We have duality. We have hot and cold, love and hate, sanity and insanity. But to what degree? They both exist. That's polarity. Yeah. I think if we studied the Hermetic principles, we would be better off. The all is mind, the universe is mental. As above, so below. As below, so above. So within, so without. The law of vibration. Everything moves, everything vibrates. I think there's too many stupid people. There are so few intelligent people. So few intelligent people. Why is that? We need to figure out why that is. Why is the gene pool in need of chlorine? The gene pool needs chlorine. The gene pool needs to have all the impurities removed. But then again, we need chaos. It seems like we feed on chaos. Why do we feed on chaos? Why does poverty even exist? So there can be rich neighborhoods? But then again, we go back to the bourgeoisie. We go back to the peasants. We go back to why are there so many peasants and so few rich people? Because they know the art of being rich. I think rich is a mindset that needs to be taught to more people. More intelligent people need to know the rich mindset. I see so many people spending money on things that are ridiculous. Why are we spending money on things that are ridiculous? Puegos. The Greeks had what's called puegos. Puegos? I think I'm saying it right. They had their wealth. Their wealth was their puegos. Now it's like we spend until we're poor. Why do we spend until we're poor? We spend on stupid things. I think what it is we need to find out what makes us happy, because what makes us happy isn't the things we own. So many people have a boat in storage. They go months and months without using that boat. It's just in storage. They own something Or exercise equipment. They own something that just sits in storage. They own something that they don't use anymore, and then they think they're going to use it again. It's like, wouldn't it be better just to buy gold? Gold has gone up in price. Gold. Sell that boat and buy some gold. That boat that you're never going to use, that exercise equipment that you're never going to use, and then watch that gold become worth more, if I'm saying that right. You can always count on the price of gold going up. Whenever the dollar loses its value, gold goes up. It takes more dollars to buy gold. Because when the shit hits the fan, but then again, you're gonna get you got to shop around. Who's gonna give you the most for that gold? They say cash is king. You already $5 is always going to be $5. $100 is always going to be $100. It's always going to be face value. So that's another thing. Put away cash, because nobody can devalue, at least now. Well, you always know what you have when you have cash. $100 is always going to be $100. $10 is always going to be a $10 bill. So yeah, start putting aside money you've already paid taxes on. Put aside that money that you've already paid taxes on and let that grow. Keep putting away. But then again, what are you going to do with that money? Feed yourself. That's all you really need to do. Feed yourself. Make sure that you're not going under financially. I think that's what it is. That's the secret. We are functionally insane. We are all insane. We're just able to function. Hello, Zika. Welcome. I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, functionally insane. The survival of the fittest. Everyone survives now. You don't have to work at anything. You don't have to struggle or anything. You just be you, and you can succeed. You could just have a viral video, and suddenly you're a success. You don't have to spend time in college. You don't have to spend time honing your talent. Just make a video that hopefully everyone will appreciate. Whether or not you want Chick-fil-A sauce, or whether or not you want to spit on that thing. It seems like it's all luck. It seems to be luck, a stroke of luck. I've seen so many good videos out there that should be viral, but somehow society decides what is so interesting or so funny that it gets millions of views. But then again, we're functionally insane. We're all insane. We can just function on different levels. We could make colliders. We could make Olympics. The Olympics, everybody still watches the Olympics. Everybody still watches the Super. You subbed. Thank you. Thank you for subbing. I guess this is a way, this is my public access. This is how I get out there. This is how people can, we could just watch us slowly but surely slip into insanity. Logic doesn't seem to apply anymore. Less and less. Every morning I wake up, logic applies less and less. good sense doesn't apply anymore. Hard work doesn't seem to apply anymore. The harder I work, the less I get. The law of diminishing return. Thank you for the thumbs up and the smile. That's what we need more. We need more smiles. What say you? I think this is all functioning insanity. There's no sanity anymore. We're slipping slowly but surely into the abyss. I guess the Big Bang has run out of logic, has run out of, like, Idiocracy. Remember what that show, that movie, that Mike Judge movie? I think it was called Idiocracy. How we de-evolved instead of evolved. Because life has become so simple. All we have to do is pull up to a drive-through and have enough money to pay for what we ask for. That's all the intelligence you need nowadays. Just intelligent enough to walk up to a vending machine and put money into it and get a Coca-Cola out of it. Smart enough to turn a computer on and play a video game. There's no challenges anymore. And we're living longer than we should. That's functioning insanity. We're intelligent enough to make things happen, but not intelligent enough to figure out what shouldn't happen. That's what I've been noticing. We're so intelligent in some ways, but not nearly as intelligent in other ways. I mean, so this is what happens when you put me in front of a camera. When you put me in front of a camera, I start to contemplate and dwell on things and laugh at things. We need to laugh at our functional insanity. Why do we get up and do anything? We have people there ready to take care of us. We just have to be smart enough to walk over to the freezer and pull something out and let it thaw out and then put it in the microwave or put it in the oven. We see businesses come and go. Nature had the right idea. Get up and hunt. Get up and pick berries. Get up and harvest. Nature had the right idea. If you can run away from the tigers and the lions and the leopards, if you're smart enough to stay clear of the snakes, then I think that's what it is we're not challenged. We need to be challenged. We need to be mentally challenged. When you go to school, you learn about things that people knew thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, and you apply it to today. We've forgotten how to be smart. I think we've forgotten how to be smart. We've forgotten our built-in intelligence. We have a built-in intelligence, and because we go to universities, because we go to libraries, we go to things that have already been, we're reinventing the wheel so that we can invent a better wheel. Because it's like, I think we do have a built-in intelligence. We have genius level imagination, but we think we have to go to colleges, universities, study under certain professors so that we can be smart. It's like we're the scarecrow. We don't realize we have a brain. We have a brain. So many people who are out in the wilderness, like before the Europeans settled here, and also in the Congo, in the Amazon. You know, there are people who have great knowledge of herbs that will poison a fish but won't poison them. They 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 don't have laptops, they don't have cell phones, they don't have things that suck their lives away. They just go stay away from the snakes, stay away from the lions and the tigers and the bears and the leopards, and the panthers, and all that. And they don't get old. Some of them do. I don't know. I don't study that closely. The Amazon and the Congo, the tribes there who still hunt with bows and arrows and traps. How much more better off are they than us? We're surviving heart attacks now. Why? Why do we survive heart attacks? So we can go back to the shit jobs that we detest. If you survive a heart attack, you should get everything you want because you're lucky enough to survive a heart attack. First of all, you should just have everything you want as long as you're not hurting anybody. You should have the money in your bank all the time that you need to yeah, you should walk among the chosen. You didn't die. People who didn't die should be treated with it's like, what wisdom do you have, sir? What wisdom do you have now that you've survived a heart attack or survived cancer or survived being eaten by organisms? I guess this is the mood that I'm in right now. I think intelligence in genius is something that is slipping through our fingers. I think a lot of us have genius IQs, but nobody gives a shit. Would you know a genius if one bumped into you on the way out of the bathroom? Would you know a genius? Or would you know if you're a genius? You know, there are so many different ways of measuring the intelligence quotient. And there are people who are converting plastic into diesel. There are people who are building a better mousetrap. What's horrible is they can print money. They can just print money. But there's so many poor people. There's so many poor people. Poor people are the monopoly now. Why? It's so that those people can go out and work jobs and make money for the few. There's so many things that are just beyond me. We get up every morning. We try to earn as much money as we need. And we try to get more. Again, if you really look at it, it's functioning insanity. We're all insane to different degrees. Some of us are so insane we can't function. We hear trees talking to us. We think UFOs are watching us daily. But then again, we are being watched by, I could go on and on. The insanity. No one's watching this. I used to think that people watched Eddie's Funhouse, but I'm sitting here with zero. I'm sitting here zero people. What is today? Today is Tuesday. I call it Booby Tuesday so that people can go get breast exams. Catch that cancer before it becomes a problem. I think that's what it is. I need to start the show earlier so that I can accommodate or at least catch my Australian audience. But then again, the media makes things seem a lot worse because that's a business. The media is a business. If they're not telling you that the Antichrist is alive and well, if they're not telling you that people are just butchering each other, if they're not telling you that the economy is far beyond recovery, then nobody's watching it. Nobody's watching the media. We can create our own media now. The things that really matter to us. A rescued puppy, a kitty cat that gets scared by a cucumber. It used to be in the days of Ron Burgundy. Everybody was waited with bated breath. I think I said that right. Everybody waited for the news anchor man to come on and give us the news, and it was gospel. Now there's so many different news sources. So many different sources for our what really interests us. Are we really interested in improving, or are we interested in a warthog being shot down, or almost being shot down by a gun that shoots way too many bullets? It's like, that's a spray and pray weapon. I like one round, one kill. If I'm going to fight a war, I want it to be economical. If you have 100,000 rounds, there should be 100,000 dead people. That's the accuracy we need to have. Stop charging taxpayers so much money to just spray bullets into the air. Get better aim. That's what we need, is better aim. We need a gun that will actually shoot an airplane down, not spray bullets into the air, wasting all those bullets. Well, it's been an hour and 23 minutes. You've just missed another episode of Eddie's Funhouse. I want to do an outside episode. I got called for jury duty. It's scary here in Georgia. The letter you get to show up for jury duty, it's a scary letter. Instead of just saying, hey, show up here at 8 o'clock at this address. Make sure you don't wear shorts. Dress for court. The letter reads something like, by law, you're required by law to show up at this address at 8 o'clock. Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. It's a mixture of insanity and music. music and insanity in no particular order. I wonder when YouTube is going to become like OnlyFans. I guess OnlyFans, you actually get paid to chat with your audience. Pay per view. You can post pictures and people pay for those pictures. Let's play nice. Let's play nice while the world is in shambles. Perfect music for smoking a joint. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing. I want to talk about my mom's car. My mom's car was damaged. It was in the parking garage of the hospital. The parking garage of the hospital, and somebody damaged my mom's car, didn't leave a note. You're supposed to leave a note if you damage someone's car. And where the camera was, it didn't catch who did it. See, this is what stops my head from blowing up. Playing flute music. Playing flute music stops my head from blowing up. That's called a hit and run. If you damage someone's car and just take off. And it happened at night. Security was able to ticket my mom's car for being parked in the garage, but they didn't catch who damaged my mom's car. See, it helps me to play soft music, so my head doesn't blow up. You think they would have more cameras in a parking garage. Parking garages are perfect breeding grounds for crime. some nice little links in the description. One of them is Kingdom of Pets. If you want to learn how to better care for your pet, and I'm sure you do, check out Kingdom of Pets. Maybe I could cut a CD, make a CD called Joint Smoking Music. Music for when you smoke a joint. In stores now. Tell them a hookah-smoking caterpillar gave you the call. Who are you? Tell them a hookah-smoking caterpillar gave you the call. Call Alice when she's 10 feet tall. When the men on the chessboard get up and tell you where to go, when you've just had some kind of mushroom and your mind is moving low, call Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, with the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the dormouse said. Keep your head. I should do music at the park. But then there's so many distractions at the park. That's what I could do, set up a chair. I have a tripod that's built like a microphone stand. See how many people walk by. Civilization is eroding worldwide. What's going to become of us? A new renaissance. I think that's what's happening. A new renaissance. Renaissance is a French word for rebirth. I think we're going to have a new civilization. One that hopefully isn't controlled by money. Wow, almost 2 hours. It's been a long time that I've lived in Georgia and I've never been called for jury duty. It's all of a sudden, out of the blue, I get a letter in the mail Like somehow I rose to the surface. It's like they shook up the balls, shook up the balls and pulled my name out of the bucket of balls. That's one thing I never understood about jury duty. 12 people have to decide whether something happened or not, whether someone is guilty of a crime or not. Shouldn't they grab the people who saw it happen? Shouldn't they grab up all the witnesses and put them in the jury box? I think that would be the smartest way. Because that would suck if you should, if you are um, the person who is not convicted, suspected. If you are suspected of a crime, and you have 12 people who weren't there decide whether or not you're guilty of a crime. Like I was talking about earlier about the people being executed and finding out later that they were not guilty of the crime. Oops. And then people who are guilty of a crime, they walk because of lack of evidence or inadmissible evidence in court, or you know, it's crazy. I wouldn't want to be at the receiving end of 12 people who couldn't get out of jury duty deciding whether or not I committed a crime. So anyways, I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm getting hungry. I'm so happy that there's a window right here. I can sit in this chair and look out a window where there is a tree planted. I think what it is stop worrying. You're halfway there if you can just stop worrying. Stop worrying and stop struggling. Because worrying doesn't get you anywhere. It's like paddling a boat in the desert. You're basically where you are, and no matter how much paddling you do, you're still going to be in the same spot. So, so worrying is a futile attempt at trying to make a difference in your life. That's something I'm going to need to work on. Stop worrying, because worrying doesn't get you where you want to go. Unless you want to worry and have things lead to more worrying. Because it's like an addiction. It seems to be an addiction. Once you're no, it's like the brain has to be working on something. And it's like, hey, if you're just wasting energy when you worry, you're wasting all that energy. It's wasted energy. So it's time to meditate on something that's actually going to make a difference. I think it's time for the jaw harp now. I can play the jaw harp. I'm passing the time. What I do to pass the time is play instruments. And I chat with people. People who are on up at 2 a.m. Maybe I need to move to Australia. Then I can make a schedule based on based in a time zone that I'm actually in. I either talk to people from the UK or from Australia. So I need to move over in that area so I can be in the same time zone. Because it's rough when people have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. People here in America could care less whether I'm doing a show or not. I guess there are better things people can be doing besides watching a guy play a jaw harp. This is my low budget show. When I can get donations and commissions, I'll be able to offer more. I can go on location. That'd be interesting. Do a show called You Wanted to See It. I think that's what I'll do. I'll do a part 2. Maybe now is just not a good time. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do this again some other time.